and I absolutely agree. I mean, I think understanding, that you can't do it by yourself, and success means a good team. Some of the business, people who come from the business world will say, oh, well, I'm not creative. I can't think of any ideas at all. And you talked a little bit about observation and how you will use that. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that's a, if somebody says they're not creative or what have you, that doesn't make any sense. We are all creative. Okay. And I don't know if creative means being able to draw a picture or not. That's just a skill that you can learn. Anybody can learn that. But I think that, but anybody has the ability to observe, like you just mentioned. And so it does, it can be kind of fun to just watch and see how people are going through their lives. I was noticing, I got a COVID test the other day, and I got here, look, I got this thing here.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got one too, yeah.
Yeah, right. How cool is this little thing? It's got this kind of thing so you don't lose it. And it's like that's a cool idea right there. This little piece, right? So you can poke your ATM cards or your gas thing, whatever. There's a little hook right here that you can, I think it's for like opening a door maybe. But somebody observed like, oh, we're hitting these buttons with our fingers, and that's probably not a good idea right now. And so, like, okay, what can we do to fix that? Oh, I know, we'll make a little, I'm sure that somebody in their kitchen or whatever, fashioned a little thing out of plastic. Maybe they melted down a ballpoint pen, and started using that. They're like, oh, yeah, one. And they brought it right, the right company that said like, oh, we'll make these, and then that company, the people in that company knew the right connections to have that would go to WVU and put their logo on there. They also went to Penn and put their logo on there. They also went to Carnegie Mellon and put their logo on there, and to NC State and to whoever else, right? It's the same thing, right? But it's that sales guy had that, or the marketing people or whatever, those connections were there. Certainly the designer who made this thing right here didn't have those connections, right? But I'm sorry, but back to your question about was observation. I think that we tend to go through life in a world that's designed pretty well. If you think about it, how many light switches did you turn on today? Right. Do you remember any of them? And you probably, I kind of assume you say no, you don't remember any of those light switches on, but yet you probably turned on 10 light switches, 11, whatever that is. Right? Like that thing works pretty good. Okay, so some designs are like, it's like, wow, that's kind of good. They already got that dialed in. That works pretty well. But there are some things that don't work pretty well. And I think you can kind of travel through the world and just kind of see that stuff. I have a thing about doors, right? And the way door handles work, and and so many of them don't work very well. They're very unintuitive, and you can't figure out. Sometimes you can't figure. Am I supposed to pull? Am I supposed to push? Turn? What is this thing here? And it's always kind of irked me a little bit, like how the door handles don't work. And I'm also been very conscious of them. Certainly since COVID, but even before that, like touching other people's door handles is kind of a little bit gross. But now that we can't, we don't really want to touch the door handles. We have these things, right, to do that for us. But do these really help us with these door handles? Okay. Or is there something better than this? I mean, this is I don't know if this is going to help here, because some things you got twists and all this thing. This won't help me. But now I have this. Now what am I supposed to do with it? It doesn't work. So you observe. You just have to observe and see. There's a better idea than this, for sure. There is. Okay. This is a good start. But there's definitely got to be something better here. So it is, observation is I mean, it kind of is, critical for just about anything. To come with that idea.
Yeah, it's so funny, Craig, that you brought that up too, because you need sometimes like that first item, like the metal key, to sort of say, okay, this is a good first step. Can we make it better?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, this is the first to market. Right? Okay, how do we fix it? How do we make it better? Right? And that's where I think that's where the gold is right there, is to make it better there. Granted, this little key thing was given away, right? If you got the testing, and so I mean, I can't imagine it costs very much to make that. But there's potential in something that will work like that. And right now, what a wonderful time right now for design, right? In a world that has absolutely changed and we have to address.
Right.
And things do change, like even your light switch, right? That we don't think about. That's something we now have to think about. There's opportunity everywhere right now. So if you're thinking of a business, if you're a designer, or it's something in this world here, it's just like, wow, the opportunities could not be any better.
It's absolutely true. We think about how can we make things different, that are COVID related, but everything is open now. Everything's changed. Everything is open. How do we communicate now? How do we work safely? How do we get our food? So you're absolutely right. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to create something, invent something, it's an amazing time.
Yeah, it is. But you just said COVID related, right? And I think that's where we got to be a little bit careful when we're designing. Because ultimately what you want is for your design your product to last test of time, right? We don't know what COVID is going to do, but let's just assume that maybe it's not going to be around here forever in the severity that it is now. But you still want your product to work.
Right.
Do you know that there's a company called OXO? They make like vegetable peelers, and they make kitchen utensils. Yeah. OXO, right?
Yeah.
And that company was funded. It's a universal design company that is initially started to make products for people who have issues with their hands, right? Or they can't hold the utensil, whatever.
Right.
And so they made it more user friendly for people who have some sort of problem, but they have never marketed it that way. Right? It's just plain good design, and so you can use it whether your hand works or not. And we're not going to say like oh, this is for you weird people who have a problem, or this is for you people who don't have a problem. And so the people who don't have a problem don't need to feel like they are using something that's yuck. It's a piece of medical device or it's just not marketed that way at all. And it's just plain good product. But their vegetable peeler, that's kind of their most famous product they have in their line. And there's hundreds of pieces now in their line, but that's lasted. It's been around for 20 years. And I have one. And my hands work reasonably well. But even if they didn't, I could probably use it too. So I think that with COVID stuff, I think we need to just kind of like just be a little cautious about how is it that we want to utilize that. There's a couple of different ways when you're making or when you're selling product, right? You got to think about are you on it now for the short run, for the short term? Like, boom, I just need to make as much money as I can quickly because it's going to go away. Or do you want to try to keep that thing like just at a slow move that goes for a long time? Both of them are very legitimate. Okay. I think that ultimately, if it's about money, I think the longevity one is probably the better idea. But there's other things that are trends, right? And trends they get hot real quick and then they go.
Really
and
fast.
So if you're savvy enough to be on trends, right, to be on it, boom, then you can jump in and then jump out real quick. But that could be a difficult thing to do if you don't have the proper setup. To have an idea, get it made, get it distributed to the proper places, get it marketed right, get it sold, and then without crumbling from behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. This is the kind of information that we really need because we're all facing how to take an idea and move it forward. So I really appreciate your time.